Facebook is on. Ooh, ready? Yeah. Remember? I don't know if you guys remember the movie Back to the Future 2 when he was on the hoverboard. Would you think one day we would have a hoverboard, right? But even still today, we don't have a hoverboard. But because of specific movies, we change the way our mind thinks, right? Same thing with this pandemic. With this pandemic that just happened, it has changed the way people house. When I say house, it changed the way people buy houses and it changes the way how people refinance houses. What's going on, guys? My name is Minh with What's a Mortgage. Welcome to our channel. The goal of our channel is to educate, empower, and to connect you with the right mortgage. And tonight, we are going to go over the modern refinance strategies. With this pandemic, with all the changes this pandemic caused, people are changing the way they house, the way they're buying a house, and the way they're refinancing. So tonight, we are going to go over the modern refinance strategy. If it's your first time tuning in, do me a huge favor, hit the notification button so you're notified every time we go live or post new content. We go live every Monday night at 9 p.m. All right. Also, this is an interactive live stream. So if you have questions regarding home ownership, ask. All right, guys. So if you have refinance questions, tonight's the night to ask. Also, after you hear all our strategies on refinancing, if you feel like refinancing is for you and you're on Facebook, put the word refi in the comments and we will see if it's worth refinancing or not. Let's see if the strategy works for you. All right, let's talk about the modern refinance strategy. Let's go to the first slide. So, like I said, right, just like Back to the Future 2, right? When you watch that movie about hoverboards, now you think hoverboards are going to happen. Of course, we have these segways. They're very similar to hoverboards. So same thing with this pandemic that just happened, right? It's changing the way people house. Because of that, they're changing the way you should do refinance, right? Refinancing is not like refinancing back in the days, right? Talk about refinancing. My parents, they came here in 79, 80, and in 1991, they bought a home. But because the way they were refinancing, lowering their payment, they never paid off their home, right? They paid off a good portion of it because every time my dad ran into trouble, he would refinance. And every time he refinanced, right, he would actually continually stretch out his loan, right? Because he didn't know better and it was different than it is now. Right now, because of the life we live, because of after pandemic, right, we're changing the way we're refinancing, okay? So let's check out. So why are we changing the way we're refinancing, right? People are gaining equity quicker. So if people are gaining equity quicker, they're changing the way they refinance. I don't see a lot of people doing streamlines anymore, right? Maybe before pandemic, equity wasn't growing that fast. I see a lot of people going from FHA to a streamline. An FHA or VA loan, they would do a streamline because rates got lower and they lowered their payment, right? With an FHA loan, there's not enough equity to get rid of the PMI, but people wanted payment relief. So they would streamline. But because we're gaining so much equity now, you don't need a streamline anymore, right? You can go from FHA to conventional. These days, people are growing quicker in equity where there is a rule. If you have X amount in equity, it's under 2 years. But if you want to get rid of the PMI, you would have to refinance out of it, right? Or 20% equity under 5 years, you would have to refinance out of it. So we're gaining equity quicker. So there's more options for people to get rid of PMI quicker, right? Also, people are living in their homes longer. So if you're living in your home longer, right, you're deciding how you want to refinance. Maybe you're looking for long-term savings because you're living in your home longer, right? Before, people would move so quickly that if they refinance, they get immediate cash savings, but long-term, they pay less interest, right? But who would want that if you're only gonna live in it for a couple years? But because of this pandemic, people are living in their homes longer. And last but not least, people are renovating more than ever, right? If you look at the stock for Lowe's and Home Depot, it's skyrocketing right now. People have so much equity, even though lumber's is high. Even though cost of other goods are expensive right now, right, or off the roof or whatever you call it, right? Skyrocketing, right? Thanks, Andy. Skyrocketing. People are renovating their homes, right? So in different ways you can renovate your home. with your refinance, right? So these are the three main reasons. There might be other reasons, like a reason I forgot to put on here, right? More people than I've ever seen are buying homes from their family members, right? If you are buying a home from your family member, before you decide to do a purchase, pay real estate commissions or title and escrow on a purchase, people can consider refinancing. There's so much equity. I've never seen more people sell homes to their family members and give them equity because they have so much, right? So these are the modern day problems because of pandemic. Because of these modern day problems, right? People are changing their mindset. So, guys, if you have refinance questions or you want to run the numbers to see if you can get a low rate in the twos, right now twos are back. Like I said, going to June and July, as inflation continually rises, twos might not be there anymore, right? So if you want a chance at a two, you've had your loan for over 6 payments, right? Go ahead and click the word refi if you're on Facebook, and you can see the numbers to see if you qualify for something in the mid twos, okay? So let's talk about this, right? So let's talk about reasons here. So let's talk about buying a home from a family member, okay? So that's one thing you can do. If you are thinking about getting a home from a family, and we had someone reach out to us, right? They're gonna buy out their parents, right? Why buy out your parents when you can refinance the home from them to yourself? So if you are, what's up, Dolores? If you are getting a home from your parents and you live in the state of California, if you refinance it, right, you fill out the proper paperwork, you can inherit their property taxes. What up, Eric and Tino? How you doing? Right? So if you are getting a home from a parent or from a grandparent, right, there's ways you can do it to inherit the property taxes. Think about your parents or your grandparents bought a home 20 years ago, 30 years ago, right? What did you want to pay property taxes on that purchase price? Yes, it increased 2% a year, but still cheaper than getting it in today's value. If you did it as a purchase, it has to record with the county, right? You would have to pay top dollar for that purchase price, right? So if you're thinking about getting a home from a parent or grandparent, you want to refinance it over a purchase, right? If you don't have to give them any cash, great. You can refinance it, right? You can refinance it, whatever the loan amount is, just refinance it your name. If you need to give them cash, right? You can go up to 80%. That means you need to have 20% equity left. Go to 80% and cash them out. If you get it as an inheritance, you can cash them out right away. You don't have to wait 12 months. Typically on a cash out refinance, if you just jump on title, you would have to wait 12 months. But if you're buying it from a family member or getting it as an inheritance, right, you can go ahead and refinance it, okay? You can, guys, if you have questions, Lizzie, I will answer that question in a little bit. Guys, be patient. I want to get through this, and I'm going to answer everybody's question, all right, regarding this refinance. So before you decide to do it as a purchase, do it as a refinance. You don't have to pay real estate commissions. Also on a refinance, closing costs is cheaper than on a purchase. For example, on a $500,000 loan, right? On a $500,000 loan, if you did it as a purchase, you're going to pay about 10 grand or about 15, 10 to 12 grand in closing costs on a purchase on the buyer side. And on the seller side, you're paying another 10 grand. That's $25,000 on a $500,000 purchase. On a refinance, about 3,000 bucks, 4,000 bucks max, right? So that's why you want to see if you can refinance it in your name before buying it. And of course, if they want cash back and it's over 80% LTV, right? You might have to do it as a purchase, right? Or there's other ways to do it. You can do it as a, let's say they're going to give you some equity, right? You can refinance it, cash them out, or buy as a purchase, but a gift of equity. That then you would have to do it as a purchase. But before you decide to do it as a purchase, let's try to inherit their property taxes. And if they're not a parent or grandparent, you might have to pay the higher taxes. But once you want to save 25 grand in commissions, right? 25 grand in cost. So think about that before you go ahead and jump in and purchase it, okay? Next one, the smart term refinancing. I wish my parents knew this. So if you have an FHA loan or conventional loan, right? You've had your loan for a couple years. It's time for you to remove PMI. Or if you're going from FHA to conventional, you might think twice about refinancing back to a 30-year fix. Yes, if you had your loan for 2 years, you can do a 28-year fix. That's why we call it the smart term refinance. If you had your loan for 3 years, let's say you had an FHA loan for 3 years, when you refinance into a conventional, because you can remove PMI, why don't you go with a 27-year fix, right? There's other strategies compared to going back to a 30-year fix. Okay, when you go back to 30, it's like if you walked out the door and you walked down the street, and then now you had to turn back to the house. If you keep coming back to the house, you will never get to where you want to, which is paying off your home, right? So when you walk out that door, keep going. Okay, let me show you an example here, right? Let's go Techie Lender. Pull up Techie Lender here. All right, let's check this out, right? So let's say a home is worth $450 now. They bought it 2 years ago in August, right? The rate was 3.75. The principal and interest, $1,759. Mortgage insurance, $139. Property taxes, $442, right? Monthly hazard insurance, $50. So the payment was $23.90, okay? They got their loan 2 years ago, okay? If their current balance after 2 years is $359, the LTV is 80%, right? They're going to lower their payment. They would go with the new loan amount. Let's say we add $5,000 for closing costs. The new rate would be 2.75, 28-year fix. Look at this, 28-year fix. Okay? Look at their payment. Here's their new payment, $2,088. But look at this scenario. Let me show you this scenario. If they did not refinance, right? And that's why people go, oh, I just want to hold on to my loan. So if they did not refinance, right? Their new principal is their current principal is $360,000. You see that right here? $360,000, right? Right? Interest, they've already paid $38,000 in interest. You guys with me on that? Look at the remaining interest if they did not refinance for the next 28 years. Like I said, think differently. People are living in their homes longer, right? If they're living in their home longer, right? Think about it, they decide to pay off this house. People are now, homes aren't on the market like they were before. Sometimes when you buy your home, it might be your forever home. Look at this. If they continued on, $215,000 in interest, right? They still have to pay on the 28 years. But if they did their refinance, right, and they took the lower rate, but they did a 28-year fix, $158,000 left in interest, about $56,000 less in interest over the duration of the loan. I don't know about you, but who can do a lot with $56,000? But also, you're saving $300 a month. You can add that to principal and pay off your home even quicker, right? And after you pay it down, if you lock into a 2, you don't have to refinance again. If you attack your principal, you can recast your loan, which means they'll recalculate the payment against the recent balance and they'll drop your payment, right? There's so many things you can do now. Modern day thinking, right? Because people are living their home longer, right? Just think about that. Next time you see a hoverboard, think about me. But think about this. If you did a 30-year fix, right? Let's say you did a 30-year fix, right? No, what? Go ahead. Go for it. Let's say you did a 30-year fix, right? 171. Only $43,000 is saving. You lost that $10,000, right? There's so much you can do. Like I said, that's 2 years. Imagine this. Look at this other one, right? You got your home in 2013. People are like, oh, I'm 7 years of my loan. I don't want to refinance. You had a rate of 4.75. Your home is worth $450, right? But your payment was $1,486. You got your home 7 years ago, right? And your current balance is $245. Let's say $250 now. Think about interest rate, 2.75 on a 23-year fix, right? Currently, right, your old loan, this is how much is left, right? $245. You have already paid $97,000 in interest. You have to pay $153,000 more in interest over the next 23 years. But let's say you did that 23-year fix, right? Your payment went down $260. But look at this. You're only going to pay $87,000 in interest. Why would you leave your loan alone? For this one, if you went back to 30 years, oh my gosh, you're going to tack all these years back on your loan. 7 years, right? So the modern day refinance, it's the smart term, right? You can do a smart term refinance. You don't have to go back to year one. It's been around forever, but it's slowly becoming more popular. Let's go to the big screen. So before you decide, right? Let's go to the slide. Before you decide to refinance a lot, think about this. You're going to live in your home longer. You're probably going to live longer yourself as well. Why not be smart about it instead of going to a 30-year fix? Think about modern day strategy. Do the smart term refinance, right? Even if you have an FHA loan, you can do a 20, let's say you've had your FHA for 2 years, you can do a 28-year fix. Don't think about the short-term interest you're going to save, right? Maybe $100 or so. Think about long-term, okay? Think about that. Same thing with cash out, right? A lot of people are like, oh, I don't want to pull cash out. I don't want to tap into my equity, start all over again. You can do a smart term refinance. If you've been in your home for 7 years, you can do a 23-year fixed cash out, right? Those are the things you can do. Yes, if you pulled cash out and went back to year one, I would go phooey on you. Unless you plan on selling your house within 3 to 5 years, I can see that makes sense. But if you're going to live in your home long term, typically, if someone's going to do a cash out refinance, they've been in their home for a while because you need equity to do a cash out refinance. Okay, I will, Dolores. Okay, so if you're going to stay in your home longer, why go back to 30 years, right? Modern day strategy, modern day refinance, right? So if you remove a family member, you can do a smart term refinance. If you've been in the home for a couple years, you want to remove PMI, you can do a smart term refinance. Same thing with cash out, right? Unless you know you're going to be saving all this money, you're going to be pumping a lot of principal in your house, you might want to weigh out the options. But typically, people are not disciplined, and the best way to do it is to shorten the term. Keep staying on the path, right, to pay off your home with these smart term refinances, okay? Last but not least, renovation loans, right? Renovation loans. So, if you bought a home, you're going to max out your credit cards, take a personal loan out between 15 to 24%, right? Remember about those renovation loans I told you about? Now you can do a renovation refinance, which means you can borrow up to 110% of the new appraised value. Doesn't mean you need to go up to 110%, but if you bought a single family home, right, and you added square footage or you did something to make it be worth 110% more, you can borrow up to 110%. A lot of people do a lot of construction work where they can't live in there. They'll even give you 6 months mortgage payments so you can do the construction. So modern day refinance, right? Renovation loan. Why max out your credit cards? Why max out a personal loan and you live paycheck to paycheck because you have another debt, right? Also, if you have an FHA or VA loan and you do a renovation, after 6 payments, you can streamline it down for a lower interest rate, right? So there's so much you can do now with modern day strategy instead of the old way, maxing out credit cards, right? You buy your home and you need to do repairs on it. Why tie up your own money when you can use that money as a buffer in case you run into issues? You don't have enough equity to get a line of credit yet, but you bought the home. Something is wrong. Renovation loan is for you, right? Remember, oh, I'm going to borrow 110%. The lack of properties there are in the United States, value will continually go up. Yes, there might be dips, but long term, it will continually go up, right? And remember, the payment will still be cheaper than you maxing out a credit card, taking out a personal loan to finish a bathroom, right? Change carpet, right? Add a pool. Think about that, right? There's different ways to do it, okay? Also, like I said, removing people from title. When you're removing people from title, right? Or not from title, from the loan. From title, you can just deed them off. But if you want to remove people from the loan, you would have to refinance. I've seen people, right? They bought a home. 6 years they're in their loan already. They finally qualify without their cosigner. Why would you add 4 years back to your loan? You've been in, or let's say you've been in for 4 years or 6 years. Why would you add 6 years back to your loan, guys? Remember that. So before you decide, when you remove someone from the loan, hey, how many long have I been in the loan? We had a guy, check this out. They were there for 10 years, right? They finally removed the other person. They went to a 30-year fix. They added 10 more years back onto their loan. So if you just need the savings, but you're going to sell, I get it. There's different strategies for different people. I'm talking about modern day. Because of the pandemic, because of what we went through, people are living in their homes longer, right? People aren't selling. Why would you sell? Property taxes, right, are rising. Why would you want to keep your home? People are staying and living and keeping their home longer and doing renovations. I missed the part where you can add a pool. You can do a renovation loan, add a pool, Erica, all right? Do a rent. There's other strategies you can do. Of course, if you have equity, go out and get an equity line of credit. Some people, the reason why they don't get an equity line of credit is because I see people when they get equity line of credits over 50,000, they never pay it off. They make interest only payments. So on a line of credit, after the first 10 years, it turns into a 20-year fix. And then people refinance it again, right? When I see line of credits under 50,000, I might see some people pay it off. But anything over 50,000, 40, 50 or higher, if you don't add it to your loan, most likely people don't pay it off. I haven't seen anyone pay off a $100,000 line of credit unless they dropped an album that went platinum or they got TikTok or social media famous, right? People don't do that. But remember, with these modern day refinancing, you can pull cash out and still continue on to the year that you have. Let's say you've been in it for 10 years. You can do a 20-year fix, cash out. Or let's say you stretch it out only a couple more years, right? There's different things you can do. But if you have the discipline and you need the cash to either finish your pool, consolidate debt, remember, right? Remember, you can get a line of credit. But if you're not disciplined, don't do it. But remember, Erica, if you do anything that requires permits when you do your renovation, they will reassess the property based on today's value. So if you're going to do it within a couple years after you bought a home. Don't wait 10, 15, 20 years at square footage or at a pool. They will reassess the property and you will pay higher property taxes. Some people don't care because they're going to live in their house longer. There's different things you can do, different ways to do it, right? There are programs where you can pay off their mortgage in 5 to 7 years. Yes, there are programs. They're all line of credits. You're maxing out a line of credit and you're doing the credit way, which I don't like. So Dodd, I will explain to you what I think about right, on different ways to pay off your home. This is 5% down, 8% credit score. Yeah, Chris, for Lake, we'll answer that question in a second. But removing people from the loan, right? Smarter way. Also, last but not least, before we go to Q&A, right? Let's talk about FHA to conventional. People ask me all the time, Min, when can I remove PMI? Min, can I get rid of FHA? So if you have an FHA loan and you bought within 6 payments, unless your credit score is if it's under 680, you might want to do an FHA streamline, okay? On an FHA because your credit is not there to go conventional. Of course, if you have tons of equity, that's a different story. If you bought within the last 6 months or year, I might not do it as a conventional. But because there's enough equity now, let's say 2 years ago, that wasn't the case. Now, because we're growing so fast in equity, if you bought a home with an FHA loan within a year, year and a half, you can go from FHA to conventional. Remember, you walked out the door. Every month when you make a payment, you're going to pay more principal and interest slowly, right? You pay more interest in the beginning, but every month you're going to start paying more principal. Why would you reset your loan for another FHA streamline? Yes, they were popular before COVID, right? But after COVID, they're not popular anymore because you have enough equity to go from FHA to conventional. Unless you live in an area that's not growing rapidly in equity, after 6 payments, if you need payment relief, go with an FHA streamline. But now, modern day thinking, right? You can go from FHA conventional quicker. If you have above 680, you're going to have a better payment. You can get rid of PMI. We don't know when rates are going to be this low again. So if you have a chance to go from FHA to conventional, do it, right? Lock into a low rate. And when you have enough equity, once you pay down your house 20% from the original purchase price, right? Your PMI will come off when you call it in. If you pay down 22% from the original purchase price, it will automatically fall off. So with your new savings from FHA to conventional, attack that principal and your PMI will come off, right? And you won't have to worry about refinancing again if you got something in the twos. Same thing, if you bought 3% down or 5% down, now you have 10, 15% equity. Refinance it right away into a lower payment, right? You've had it for 2 years. Do a 28-year fix. Drop that PMI. Now you have a loan with more equity. You have cheaper PMI, which is pennies on the dollar. But once you pay it down, 20 to 22% from the original purchase price, your PMI will fall off, right? But with your savings, you can attack the principal now. Guys, people are living in their house longer. There's so many different strategies to attacking your principal and a safer way to pay off your home quicker, okay? Yes, the 5 and 7 year work, as long as you don't live in California, right? Yes, I see you work in Chicago. When loan amounts are in the 2s, yes. But when it's in the 4, 5, 6, or 7, there's different strategies. But that right there, my friends, is the modern day refinance, right? Think about it. People are living in their house longer. Don't you want to pay off your home quicker? Drop your payment, right? Don't be like my mom. My mom, hi dad, hi mom, if you're watching. My mom thought my dad was cheating on her because she thought he was using the money for something else because we've had the home for 30 years, right? And we never paid it off, right? We got the balance down. We bought our home for 100 and I think 190,000. We got the balance down to 100,000 after 30 years, right? Of course, I had to borrow some money and I got a line of credit on it, but now I'm paying the price, right? But in 30 years, they went from 190 down to 100,000. Okay. And my mom's like, why is she never gonna? My mom's like, is your dad cheating on me? Why is he not? Is there still balance? Is he giving money to someone else? It's like, no, mom. Every time he ran into issues, he would refinance over and over again. When he didn't know, he can do a smart term or a modern strategy refinance, right? So remember, if you're buying a house from a family member, you're trying to shorten your term, cash out, except for renovation, right? I would look at how to shorten your term. It's becoming more popular than ever, okay? And it's also the safest way to pay off your home. So if you buy your home, as we showed you guys, right? As rates drop, refinance, but keep the shorter term, right? And if you start paying more principal, okay? Let's say rates don't drop. If you're attacking the principal, there's something called recasting, right? When you get a loan, they calculate the interest based on the original loan amount. But if you make one extra payment a year, that's biweekly payment, right? You pay one extra payment a year or half a payment every 2 weeks, right? That equals one payment a year. You pay down your principal quicker. If you did something like that, or you added extra to your principal, you could, after 5 years or 10 years, you could do something called recasting. You would have to put $5,000 towards a principal, but they'll recast it, which means without refinancing, with your super low rates, if you locked into something in the twos, they will recalculate your balance on your original rate and continue on with the loan. Your payment will drop. You will cut off years of interest. That is the safest way. Just make your payments, pay extra, and rates get better. Refinance to a lower rate. Wait every 5 to 7 years and do a recast. You can recast, I think, twice in the lifetime of that original loan. And that is a safe way without getting a line of credit and a disciplined way to always pay principal and interest to pay off your home. All right, guys, let's go some Q&A here. Guys, if you feel like refinancing is for you and you're on Facebook, in the comments, put in the word refi, okay? And we'll see, is it worth doing it or not? You'll never know unless you put it in there, okay? Unless you run the numbers. So if you consider about refinancing, in the comments on Facebook, put in the word refi, R-E-F-I, right? We'll send you a link. It does a soft credit pull, which means it does not affect your credit score, okay? It does a soft pull so you know where you stand, and then you can see the numbers and decide should you refinance or not. Let's go some Q&A really quick, all right? Let's go up here. Let's go some Q&A. Take with the mouse. Oh, why is my mouse running away from me? All right, I'm gonna take the mouse. Okay, so what up, Marie? What up, Evox? Andy Wynn, what's going on? Is that you, Andy? What's going on? What's going on? Christian Christopher, awesome. See you at 9. See you at 9. Did you go all the way to the top? And Andy Butani, what's going on? Marie, oh, too bad I'm going to sleep.
That was from the test.
Oh, that was from the test? Okay. Joseph Page, where we starting here? What's up, Sally? What's up, Rosita? Erica, what's going on? Lizzie, I purchased a home August 2020. When can I refinance it? What credit score do I need? Also, do I need to refinance to remove a cosigner? Yes. If you have a cosigner, Lizzie, you do have to refinance. If you bought August 2020, right? I'm sure there's enough equity for you to refinance and remove them, right? Put in the word refi, check it out. Make sure you qualify a loan before you start calling that person to tell them, hey, I'm going to remove you, right? You don't want to get them too excited, right? So type in the word refi. We'll send you the app. It's a soft pull, which means it does not affect your credit score, right? We found a way, check this out. We found a way to run consumers' credit without affecting their credit score. And we use FICO score 2 and 4, right? When you run credit to buy a home or refinance, they have to run credit through Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax. So FICO score 2, 4, and 5. We found a way to pull your credit using FICO score 2 and 4 without giving you a hard credit pull. So when you get your quote, it is accurate. When you're using Credit Karma, other credit bureaus, right? They're using FICO score 8 or Vantage score 3 to run your credit. That's why the score is not accurate. Okay. The other ways, you can have another lender run your credit, or you can go to myfico.com and pay $60 to run your credit, or put in the word refi, right? Even if you're buying a home, put in the word refi, and they'll run the numbers, and we'll see where you qualify at without hurting your credit. A hard credit pool can affect your credit 15 to 20 points. Okay. Yes, guys, I'm doing some new things. What's going on, Lizzie? Lizzie answered that question. Joy was good. Dolores was good. Christian was good. Chris for the Lakers. Chris for Lakers. Does buying MI outright make more sense than paying it monthly? Pay it monthly. We're growing so much in equity. Do not buy out your MI. I paid, my wife, when she's on watch at the end of our show, we paid 14 grand to buy out our PMI. We bought it for 750. We're getting it priced at 850 now. I wouldn't have my PMI would be dirt cheap right now, or it can fall off pretty soon, right? I should not have bought it out. I think my balance is like 6. We put 10% down. I have the equity now. So like, why did I do that? I shouldn't have done it. I spent 14 grand to not have PMI, and I'm gonna have my home for 1 year in August. Do not do it, Lake, Eric, Chris for Lake. All right, Erica, what's going on? Yes, Solido. Yes, there is a way to pay off your home in 5 to 7 years. They're all line of credit. You pump all your money into a line of credit, and you pay off your home, and then you live off your line of credit. You can pay it off in 5 to 7 years as rates stay low. Rates are staying low, but people are not disciplined. If you are, that's a gamble for 5 to 7 years. Do you want to take that risk? It's up to you. It does work. I see people do it, but when I hear people do it, typically the loan amounts are in the 2s. When you're in the 4s and 5s and 6 in California, that's 5 to 7 years of big risk to gamble that. It's up to you. 5% down, 800. Chris, type in the word refi, check out 5% down, 800 FICO, right? Your PMI is pennies on the dollar. Do not buy it out, right? Do not buy it out. It's pennies on the dollar. Do not buy it out. I'm scheduled to move in the end of June. When do you think I will close escrow? If you close at the end of June, if you are planning to close at the end of June, most likely I'll fund the first week of July. Your first payment will be in September. Okay. What up, Descent? I came late. I need this live to my life. I need to talk to you, man. Descenia, if you want to talk to me, give me a call. 714-790-9697. Or you can email us at info@whatsamortgage.com. If you are refinancing somewhere else and you want to see if we can beat that rake, I'm going to have a series called Beat That Rake. I don't think my dad jokes, people find it that funny, right, Andy? Like a beat and a rake. Like, I might find a beat that rake. Beat that rake. Right? So we're going to try to do something on Friday, right? Beat that rake. If you have a deal out there and you want us to see if we can beat it or find someone that can beat it, send us your loan estimate to info@whatsamortgage.com, okay? We've beaten almost everybody lately, okay? What's going on, Anthony? Can you remove PMI after a few months of purchasing a home if you did some home remodeling? Yes. So if you want to refinance to remove PMI, you have to wait after 6 months to use new value on rate and term, and use new value after 12 months on a cash out. Okay? If you want to remove your PMI, you want to wait 6 months after you get your loan. Then they can use new value. I would wait 1 year, Raul, just to icing on the cake, right? Or get a cheaper PMI, right? Get a cheaper PMI. Chris, is 3% rate on a townhome a good rate? Lender seems to be giving condo rates. Yes, I would not take that. If you have an 800 FICO and you're going 5% down, you should be on a townhouse. You should be like 2.625 right now, 2.75. All right, Chris? I wouldn't take that. I would not take that, Chris. Chris, tell that lender. My son does this all the time. Every time I do something bad, he's like, Daddy, Daddy. Every time he hears me curse, he does this, right? You see? I try to get him to do that right now. It's hilarious. He's like, what are you doing? I'm like, no, don't take my blood. Don't take my pulse. I mean, wow. What's going on? What's going on, Raul? Would I have to get a new appraisal? Yes, if you do want to refinance. So here's a tip, Raul. For everyone who has PMI, if you have an FHA loan, you have to refinance to conventional to get rid of PMI. If you have conventional, here is the sauce. If you have your home and if you have 25% equity after 2 years, you can get an appraisal done and remove PMI. Or if it takes you 5 years to get 20% equity, then you can get an appraisal to get rid of PMI. So if you don't fall under that category, you would have to do a refinance to get rid of PMI. Or if you pay down the home 20% from the original purchase price, you can call and get rid of your PMI, not value, your purchase price, or pay down 22%, it'll automatically fall off, okay? You will see it in your amortization schedule when you pay down 20 to 22%. So if you attack that principle, you have a higher chance of that happening. Hopefully that helps you out. What's going on here? Is a soft credit pull check accurate? Rick G, most soft credit pulls are not accurate, but the one that we are pulling now, right? Got that sauce, right? Got working on my dancing, right, Andy? So we found a way, right? Through our app, we're able to do it's a soft credit pull, but we're using FICO score 2 and 4, right? So typically when you run credit, you have to use FICO score 2, 4, and 5, right? Experian, TransUnion, Equifax, right? Even if you use TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian to run credit, but they're not using credit scoring model 2, 4, and 5, it's not an accurate score. You got to make sure when they pull your credit, they use FICO score 2, 4, and 5 credit model, then you will have an accurate score. With that accurate score, you can get an accurate quote, right? You can't get an accurate quote without an accurate score. Ramiro, 3 payments into Cal HFA loan. What do I need to do to refinance? So Ramiro, you need to make 6 payments first before you can use new value, okay? Or 6 months. So definitely wait 3 more months. So you have 6 months. If you have enough equity, you can refinance, pay off your second and third, and get 1 loan, okay, at the lower rate. Hopefully that helps you out there. What are the refi rates right now? You probably can get something in the 2s, right? 2.625, 2.75 right now. On a conventional, if you do decide you do want to do a streamline, you're probably in the lower 2s, right? So it all depends on where your credit's at, Yesenia. But yes, on owner occupied, there are 2s out there right now on refinancing, okay? Rick, yes, if they pulled us right, soft pull, that is correct. Thank you, Lisa. Anthony was good. Thank you, Caesar. Guys, check it out. I've never seen rates so low, okay? My wife got invested property 206 and 9K loan assistance for down payment down. My wife got invested property. I don't know what invested property 206,000, or she invested 206,000 with 9K loan assistance for down payment, 5% interest rate on after 2 years. So, Callie, I would refinance out of that into a conventional loan, right? If you have a 5%, get yourself a 2 if it's owner occupied. Investment, you'll probably be in the high 2s to low 3s right now, okay? Pre-approval, then lender denied when actual loan denies. Is that regular? If they didn't go with an underwritten approval, Della Rosa, or your income drop or your FICO drop, it can happen. Doesn't always happen, but it can happen. Chris, when you say you have enough equity to get rid of PMI, do you have to wait a minimum amount of time to get rid of your PMI, just refinance and do it? So, if you have a conventional loan, Chris, and you have 25% equity after 2 years, you can get you can order an appraisal. It's called a PMI removal kit. 25% equity after 2 years, they can remove your PMI. Or 20% equity after 5 years, whatever comes first. So let's say you bought a home. Today you hit the market, all of a sudden the next year shoots up 100%. You would have to refinance out of it. But let's say it shoots up 100% after 2 years, you can get a second appraisal. You get an appraisal done and get rid of your PMI. Or you pay down the home, right, down to 20% of the original purchase price, or 22%. Hopefully that helps you out. The loan is conventional. Chris, give us a call. You got a lot of good questions. 714-790-9697. If you have a loan estimate from someone else and you want us to smoke it, send it on over, right? We should do something with the smoke in it, but in today's society, I can't say we're smoking all the time. Sorry, I'm talking to myself. It was my hype man talking to myself right now. These days, some people, you can't say anything without offending anybody. Kalia, should we refinance it for a lower rate? It all depends. Remember, Kalia, if you lower the payment, you can shorten the term if it makes sense. If it's a short-term investment, so you're not going to live in there for a long period of time, you might want to do a 30. Get that monthly saving to breathe, right, before you sell your house. But if it's a long-term, shorten the term. Yes, can you beat that rate? Send it over, girl. Let's see if we can beat that rate. We're doing our best. Chris, if you remodel it, you might be able to use the new value to drop the PMI. Yes, that is true. It's a new build. when you email your loan amount, how does it you hear back? Average, understand it varies. So if you send me the loan estimate, you will hear and you leave your information. People will email me a loan estimate, but not a phone number. If you send me your loan estimate, I need page 1 and 2 and 3, right? 1, 2, and 3, your loan estimate, plus your phone number, because I got your email because you emailed it to me, and we'll go ahead and reply back to you. Also, leave your middle credit score. With your credit score, we need that to tell, right? info@whatsamortgage.com, okay? Raul, after Zillow estimate accurate, how homes value spiked up big time in a couple of months of purchase. Can you reference those estimates? Pretty much they're gonna go off the comparable sale. So when you're trying to get value for your home, they're looking at comparable sales. They're gonna look at, first of all, how close is it to your home, the comparable sale, right? The closer the better, within a half mile, right? A sale within 90 days, of course, the newer the better. Okay, they're gonna go with square footage. They're gonna go with property type, bedroom count, square footage, and then lot size, right? Then you look for the comparable sale. They'll look for 3 comparable sales, and that's how they match up your value. You can't go off of just Redfin and Zillow because prices are changing every day because every day a new home closes, right? Christian, can I send you my loan estimate for review? I'm getting approved at 3.5% rate, but I have 800. Oh, you must be buying investment, Christian. That don't make sense. Yes, email us at info@whatsamortgage.com. Jenny, what's the number to call again? I missed it. My delay. 714-790-9697. Ask for Minh. All right? All right, guys. Hopefully you enjoy the content. Hopefully it's changing your mindset. Refinancing is not for everybody, okay? Run the numbers. If it makes sense, do it. If it doesn't, do not do it, okay? If you got 5 years left on your loan and you need a refinance, I would tell you no, because why would you add all these years back to your loan, right? If it doesn't make sense, then it doesn't make dollars. Guys, if I brought you any value tonight, do me a huge favor. Hit the like button, right? Don't forget, save this video. If you know anyone who owns a home, who's thinking about refinancing, tag them on this video. I really would like if you guys can share and you guys can save. It helps the algorithm a lot. All right, guys? And YouTube. And if you're on YouTube, hit the subscribe button, okay? And get notified every time we post new content. Guys, I know we haven't posted new content in a while. We've been doing a lot of lives. We will continue with our Monday night lives at 9 p.m. But starting June or July, so hopefully June, right, Andy? Fingers crossed, we will be releasing new content, right? I got new stuff I've been working on, right? It's like I feel like Eminem in the studio, just working on my stuff, right? Waiting to drop my new album, right? Not a new diss track, but a new album, right? So, guys, enjoy the night. Thank you to everyone. Again, we wanted all our episodes with our attitude is gratitude. Without you, there would be no us. So, guys, thank you guys so much.